Hey everybody, this is Matt Fendora, and you're listening to the Choose to Live, Love, and Grow podcast, the show that provides tools and insights to help you become the best version of yourself, focusing on mind, body, heart, and spirit. Without further ado, let's begin. Welcome back to another episode of the Choose to Live, Love, and Grow podcast. I just want to start the episode off by saying how grateful I am for each and every one of you. I'd put this podcast off for a year due to my own limiting beliefs, fears, and insecurities, but since I've committed to a date, I've had just amazing support, and with your support, we will continue to learn from some of the best people and learn incredible things. So thank you, thank you, thank you. For this episode, I wanted to talk about one of my biggest pet peeves, and it just happens to start around this time frame and goes through around March. It's a phrase that we say so often around these holidays. That phrase is New Year, New Me. This phrase is like nails on a chalkboard to me. It's a wish, not a mantra, but we treat it as a mantra. There's a lot of statistical data around New Year's resolutions, such as a 2022 poll by YouGov indicated 37% of Americans would set a New Year's resolution. That's the most common country. Now, of those 37%, 23% of those people are going to quit after the first week. Of the remaining 43% are going to quit by the end of January. In fact, only 9% of people who make New Year's resolutions will complete them by the end of the year. Why? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are only 9% of people who set New Year's resolutions actually completing them? One interesting statistic that I saw was, according to Forbes Health, 62% of people feel pressured to set a New Year's resolution. Now, I've been there. I used to think that New Year's was dumb. And the reason for that was I felt as though we should be setting goals naturally all the time of things we want to change. And it shouldn't end up being at New Year's that we actually make this commitment, because that's a huge factor is, are you committed to this goal? When I was 19, 20 years old, somebody explained their point of view, which was people use New Year's as a starting point. So I can see that. I understand that. However, if 62% of people are feeling pressured to make New Year's resolutions, they're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it to relieve themselves of pressure. And then they're going to fall into that 23% or that 43% that quit after the first week or the first month. Now, looking at the statistical data, we can already see that there are so many issues with people actually completing these goals, these resolutions that they create. So why do we keep saying New Year, New Me, as if we're going to change those bad habits that we've set, even though year after year after year, we set the same goals, the same resolutions? As I was researching New Year's resolutions and its origin, where did it come from? Where did this New Year, New Me mantra come from? I learned that the first New Year's resolution started over 4,000 years ago. It was the Babylonians who made the first New Year's resolutions, and it wasn't in January. It was actually in March at the Akitu festival. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but we'll stick with that. It's Akitu. And during this festival, the point of it was people would reaffirm their loyalty to their king or the new king. As a reward for their loyalty, if Babylonians kept to their word, their gods would bestow favor on them the following year. Now, after that, in ancient Roman times, when Julius Caesar was in charge, he created new months, the new calendar, and so January became the first month of the year. So the Romans were the first one to move New Year's resolutions, this process, from March to January and thus began New Year's. Now, notice two of those words that I use within this process: commitment and loyalty. Those are the two words that are so important for people to actually follow through with these New Year's resolutions that they're creating. While I was looking for where this phrase, New Year, New Me, came from, there was no clear cut delineation of it was said and started at this date, this is how it started, nothing very specific. The closest thing that I found was in 2014, when Twitter was created, it became a viral sensation of people sharing essentially memes of how they weren't changing and they weren't doing anything. But people would continuously use this phrase, New Year, New Me, and it just took on a life of its own, and it became its own marketing strategy for other companies, other businesses, trying to promote that of, hey, let's make these changes in our life. Let's be a new person. Let's start going to the gym again, because everybody wants to start going to the gym. There was significant data showing that most New Year's resolutions circle around some kind of health or fitness goals, whether that's losing weight, eating healthier, getting rid of junk food, etc., etc. So the marketing came from primarily gyms, but also everyone making fun of that. But yet, we continuously use this phrase, New Year, New Me, as if that is really going to affect our mindsets around creating New Year's resolutions. So, how do we work through this phrase, New Year, New Me, when everyone is saying it? It trends everywhere all the time. And the answer is we change that trend. It shouldn't be New Year, New Me. It should be New Year, Better Me. The reason for that is we're not reinventing ourselves every single year. We're adding on to what already exists. And what already exists in us are a lot of good things. There's a lot of greatness in us. We have a lot of strengths. And what we need to do is add to that. We need to stack the greatness on top of each other. So we need to focus on one area that we could improve in, that we want to improve in, and focus on that instead of trying to reinvent yourself, create a whole new personality, a whole new system. Instead, you focus on the system you already have and how can you make it better. Let's consider how our year went in 2023. Some people had ups, some people had downs. We probably, each of us, had our ups and downs. Going into 2024, is the goal to forget everything that we've went through, forget those lessons that we learned that were so valuable, whether that's good, whether that's bad? But by saying New Year, New Me, we're negating all of that, all of the lessons that we did. People want to use New Year, New Me as this motivating phrase that's going to get them through to this goal. They think motivation is the answer and Hakuna Matata, but just like the Lion King, you can't outrun your past to get into your future, the future that is meant for you. You have to look at your past, take those lessons in stride, and continue to grow, continue to be better, and become the best version of yourself. So let's work together in changing our mindset towards this new year. Let's stop saying New Year, New Me, and start saying New Year, Better Me. If you intend to create a goal or a New Year's resolution, there are a lot of things to consider to ensure that you're part of that 9% of people who actually complete it. One of the most important things is creating your start date. Your start date does not have to be January 1st. A lot of people are setting that as their date. And if you're somebody who really does want to improve your health, you want to start going to the gym, everybody is going to be in the gym January 1st. As that statistic showed, 23% people quit after the first week, 43% quit by the end of January. So it might be a better option to start in February, where you could focus on your own motivation and your own discipline and not look at other people failing and think, well, they stopped doing it, I should stop doing it. The only person that you should be comparing yourself to is you. It's you versus you. When you start comparing yourself to other people, you start robbing yourself of the joys of your own growth. Another thing to consider is, are you truly committed to this goal that you're creating? Are you a part of the 62% of people that feel pressured to make a New Year's resolution? Or is this something that you truly feel passionate about? You truly want to make the change and it brings you joy? The past couple of years, I've changed my approach to creating New Year's resolutions. I no longer create 15 different goals that I want to do throughout the year because that's so much to try and accomplish. What I've done the past 2 years is I focus on one word, one theme for that year. So in 2022, my goal was creation. I wanted to just keep creating, whether that was content, my business, or anything for that matter. 2023, my word was collaboration. I wanted to work with people and create relationships with other people because that is a fantastic way to grow, because success is not a single person thing. Success happens when other people get involved. And so my focus this year was collaboration. In 2024, I have yet to decide on what that word is, but once I figure that out, I'll share that with everybody. If you don't like the idea of creating a theme for our New Year's and you just want to write down all of your goals, what I would recommend is create 3 big goals, 3 goals for the year. Don't do more than that because 3 is such a powerful, strong number that you'll actually be able to commit to and not overwork yourself over these 3 priorities. We have to prioritize our goals. If you set 15, 10, whatever that number is, it's a lot to try and mix into your day to day, and it's just hard. So focus on 3, create good systems, good action steps for each one, create good habits that help you get closer to achieving that goal. And by the end of the year, you're going to be a part of that 9% that said, hey, I completed the goals that I set forth for 2024. Whether you're setting a theme or goals, a New Year's resolution, or none at all, know that there are people in your corner who want to see you succeed. We don't want to see you fail. Find somebody that will hold you accountable, whether that's a spouse, a parent, a good friend. Somebody can help hold you accountable, and we can be part of that 9% that complete our New Year's resolutions. And let's get on social media. Stop saying New Year, new me. Start saying New Year, better me. Tell all your friends, tell your family, whoever, you're not focusing on New Year, new me, because you are great. You are valuable. Focus on being a better version of yourself. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Choose to Live, Love, and Grow podcast. I look forward to seeing you next week. Don't forget to live, love, and grow to be the best version of you. Oh, and one more thing. If you or a young man that you know suffer from victim mindset or are not reaching their fullest potential, then visit mattfendora.com to see how we can work together to become the best version of ourselves. That's mattfendora.com. The link will be in the show notes. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you and have an outstanding day.